Hello and welcome to another edition of Video Games to the Max. I am your host, Sean Garmer, here with me as usual, Mr. Mark Morrison.
Howdy.
And well, today we have maybe that quickly, there's already maybe a Halo 2 and Halo 3 campaign evolved, and some news on the ever rumored Halo MMO that was canceled a long time ago, and how Don Mattrick apparently has something to do with that. Nintendo revived Animal Crossing New Horizons. Will the free update bring Mark back to the island?
No.
Damn, you're supposed to keep the tease going there, Mark. Rockstar may have fired some employees to avoid unionization. Not for a GTA 5 voice actor is another person that believes GTA 6 should be $100, and we'll get into all that stuff and more right after this.
You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get the housekeeping stuff out of the way here. If this is your first time watching and listening, we do appreciate you. We are usually live around 9 p.m. Eastern on Mondays. We are starting a little bit early today because I have some sports stuff to get to here. No, honestly, it was more of like they actually kind of cut down our overtime a little bit. So I was like, I don't have to work till 10 o'clock at night. So let's just do this early.
Right.
Have an earlier night there. But anything going on with you there, Mark?
There's a game convention this weekend, so I'm excited to go to that.
What's the anyone special going to the game convention?
Like retro gaming.
Oh, okay.
They have a few guests there, but no one big. I guess the biggest guy you probably know is like Rhino.
Okay, Rhino.
But he shows up at like everything, which is I think he like lives in the area. That's why. Like,
yeah, I remember him. If I'm not mistaken, he did get billed from like Detroit, Michigan, or whatever all the time when he was wrestling. So
yeah, he must like live in the area somewhere. Like he probably doesn't live in Detroit anymore. I would hope not, but
not great, huh?
Right. But yeah, I'm excited to go to that. I got friends going to there, and I'm hoping to, pick up a few things if I can.
All right, no crazy purchases this week.
I bought Puzzle Quest Mortal Edition.
Hey, that's how is that? You enjoying it?
It's Puzzle Quest. It's kind of funny because they did kind of an HD port or like an HD. They already did like an HD port of it once before. I think when they brought it to like computer and like actual consoles, because I think it was originally a DS game, maybe. Pretty sure DS. So they made like an HD port like for like the Xbox 360 and PC back in the day, and they made this one now. This one looks worse. Like it's really funny. Yeah, I don't know. Like it looks very like the old version had like a lot more graphical effects and just looked better. This is fine. It's just Puzzle Quest. Before they got like screwed it up with like Puzzle Quest 2 and 3 when they made it like way more complicated and crazy. And it's not like it's coming from the Gems of War developer, I think. Like I think they own Puzzle Quest.
Yeah.
But you can tell it looks like it's like a mobile game kind of. Like the UI is pretty like very not to scale to a computer, let's say. But it's not like some free to play thing. Like it's just original last Puzzle Quest. Like you're not like worrying about like an energy system or microtransactions or anything like that. Thank God. So if you want Puzzle Quest, it's there. And it's really funny to read the reviews going like, "Oh, this game cheats." It's like, no, this game never cheats. You just get like bad luck or occasionally good luck. It's not like cheating.
Oh,
Like I have to
I mean,
imagine that's like new players like not understanding what Puzzle Quest is.
I mean, there's the multiple versions of Puzzle Quest. I mean, you'd imagine that people would kind of get that, or just
Yeah, but like the
read
last
up on it.
the last like Puzzle Quest 1 was like a decade ago, so I imagine this might be bringing in some new players.
Fair enough.
And I beat PowerWash Simulator too.
All right. Any new thoughts on that?
Some of the levels are kind of annoying. One level in particular, like you're in like this like very small church kind of, and like you basically have to have like the ultra powerful washer because some of the like you can't even reach the ceiling at all. Like you have to have like the long extended wand, but like even that barely reaches. So good luck. But the economy in that game is like really weird. Like I don't know if it's because sometimes when you get like I'm still on, like the preview version or like the review copy because like, Steam lets you do like different branches of games.
Yeah.
So that and Wreckfest had some weird stuff going on. PowerWash Simulator 2, like I had an overabundance of money and points. Like the money wasn't like that bad, but by the end of the game, I was able to buy everything because like the last job in the game, you get 30,000 money, and that's enough to buy everything basically. But what's more the PowerWash points like that, their secondary currency to like buy cosmetics and stuff. Like I
Yeah.
kept hitting the cap on that, and I was like, oh, you reached the cap. I'm like, I don't have anything else to buy. I already bought everything. Like I done bought it. Leave me alone. If I could just throw this all away, I would, or just dump it somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
and Wreckfest had some weird stuff in the options where it just like one of the menu options was like unlock all cars, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not in the actual game. Like, that would defeat a lot of this game's progression path. Like,
Maybe you just want to play with your friends or whatever. Just
no, because like one of the other options, it was like 3 options. I think it was like reveal all the map, unlock all the cars, and the third was like unlock all the like customizable racetrack point like parts. And
yeah.
I'm like, this seems like, and it was under a menu option called cheats. So I'm like, yeah, this probably isn't in the actual shipping game, I would think. But yeah, that's about it. Just wait until Saturday for the cool convention.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
Always fun to be able to go to that, and at least you got some gaming in there. So it's
And
good.
some cat with me right now.
Yeah. We didn't talk about this last week I think it would have been, I guess, more relevant, but it obviously is also inside baseball. Most people don't care. But just to mention, one of the main place that, or well, the place that Marc writes at, and the place that I still do some reviews at here and
Right.
there when it's not the Outer Haven Full One Mania games.
Yeah.
Which it's incredible that it's like been 18 years since that has existed.
Right.
And we've kind of been there since I've been there since the day it started or restarted. They used to have a gaming section like way back in the day.
Yeah, I've been there at least like 13 years, I think.
Yeah,
But
you've been
you
there
were
a
there
long
like a
time
little
too.
longer. Yeah. Right.
It's they just randomly decided that, as tends to happen to other people. We kind of know the how that goes sometimes too. Now, they basically, the site still, that part of the site still exists, but it's no longer just searchable. You have to like have the direct link. So essentially, a lot of our visibility is gone unless you know how to find us, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mentioned it to you
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, like because I was on the site looking for something, and
Yeah,
like they have like a menu bar at the top, like a horizontal bar that lists like the like
right. All the
subdirectories. Or,
zones.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, and I was like, "Where's the gaming one?" And then I mentioned it to you, and you were like, "Wow, that's weird." And then I mentioned it to Adam, and he was like, "Huh, that's weird." And then
Adam is our
he was like,
editor-in-chief,
yeah, he's
by
like
the
this,
way.
right. And then he was like, oh, let me ask, Jeremy. He's not the owner of the site, but he's like the site editor or like the site
Yeah. So
manager.
there's different zones at that site. Obviously, they're known for wrestling more than anything, and then like maybe
Right.
movies and TV over that. And yeah, there's like 2 or 3 like site editors that basically do a lot of the heavy lifting. And
Right.
then you have an owner, the main owner that's been around since the beginning. Jeremy's been one of the people that's been around from the beginning. And then yeah, you have Adam, who's like the editor-in-chief of the site itself. So
Right.
of the gaming side.
Gaming part.
Yeah.
And then he got back to me like an hour later. He was like, oh, Jeremy didn't know. And he was like, yeah, the owner decided to sunset the gaming and music divisions. And I was like, well, thanks for the heads up. Like, it would have been nice to have been alerted. Like, I mean, he didn't know. And
Yeah.
the guy, Jeremy, didn't know either. Like, just the site owner decided to do it without telling anyone. Like, just kind of randomly on like a Friday.
Right.
It's like, cool. Like,
yeah, the reasoning that I was given was that apparently the gaming side does not do enough traffic as compared to other gaming sites. So that was
yeah, but here's the problem. If the gaming side is on life support, I mean, yes, you have 2 options. Either you pull the plug or you try to like revive it. But even if you pull the plug, you should still tell the people who are still there, like, hey, we're ending this. Like,
and it's weird. And now it's in a weird state of like it's still there. Technically,
yeah.
We can technically still request review codes,
right?
And
I got offered one today.
Yeah,
for like a SpongeBob game. I don't want.
But it. Also, like if an actual publisher or dev goes to the site outside of, or even just looking at it, right? It probably won't take them much to notice that you can't like just click on the game zone. You have to go to the direct link, which again is not, considering how Google is right now.
Yeah,
where it's also, already hard enough to find something.
I mean, I have like at least 3 columns kind of in the queue and 3 game reviews as well. Like the last game review was for, Silent Hill F that I did like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, they're still posting stuff because they posted a Stewart's Battlefield 6 review like a couple days ago or something. So,
but yeah.
I
mean, I don't mind. Like, it's a little sad for me, or sad for the people like me and Adam, I guess, and partially you who are still there.
Yeah,
but like you tell people at least. You don't just
that was the thing that bothered me. It was just like,
yeah,
I don't know how to feel about.
I don't fault Jeremy, either. Like he didn't know either. So
no, I'm not. I wasn't upset at anybody, but the main person, and it's not like he hasn't done this before. But it's just like, it's still kind of upsetting because you could go and tell people. Obviously, he has his own reasoning why he didn't do that or whatever. I guess he wanted to see if anybody cared, maybe. But it's just like, also, if that people, I mean, I don't know how much he pays attention. Like, I don't know how much he and Adam converse at all. How much he knows, like, how much Adam is actually going around still requesting codes for things and whatnot. And that stuff matters because, it does affect when, let's say you're asking for somebody that you haven't worked with before. Especially in a world where increasingly more and more indies are becoming like the games you want to go and review and things like that. They're going to search for you and validate you and go, well, I can't find you unless I click on this link directly. Like that hurts your standing. It makes you look like you're not legit, and it sucks. I mean, and it sucks for everybody. It's not great. Like, I don't know how much less or more bandwidth it's taking to have the thing be on the tab or not if it's still existing. So, I mean, I guess I'm glad it's not completely gone, but
well, yet.
I don't know how long he's gonna let it be the way it is.
Right.
Is it going to be till the end of the year, and then all of a sudden it's going to be a random like, oh yeah, it's completely gone.
Remember
Yeah,
the politics zone?
yeah, but
I
yeah,
mean,
it sucks also because it's just like, when a world where it's increasingly becoming more and more difficult for people to find places to,
yeah,
write at outlets. Not that either one of us was getting any income out of it,
right,
but just it's a place where you could go and, if you had a thought about something, you could write it, or you wanted to do a review, you could do it. Um, there's not that many people doing it, so if you wanted to request something, it doesn't mean you're going to get it. Obviously, that we still got told no many times, or I just got told
right,
nothing. But it was still like nice to know, hey, if I wanted to say, hey Adam, send me a, see if you can reach out for a review.
right.
Um,
Some game or yeah.
it's cool,
I mean, that was the other thing. Is like, yes, the gaming part, like section, was kind of on life support for at least, I don't know, 3 years.
Yeah,
But it doesn't help when I, I, I'm kind of the one heading it up, more or less. Like Adam,
yeah,
he's the editor, but he didn't like write a ton there, or
right,
he
right,
was the one like requesting stuff, which is good.
yeah.
Uh, but he has like adult responsibilities and crap, and like he has a lot more going on than I did.
It's the whole thing of like, what do you expect when you don't pay people
Right.
and you
Or
don't
yeah,
have? It's not a dedicated gaming site like, the Outer Haven is, where it's like all those people are there to write about gaming for the most part, and then the other stuff is extra, like the movies and anime.
right.
And yeah, they have a couple guys and they really are dedicated to anime, especially Josh. He's great at that. Whatever, he writes his own books and everything.
Yeah.
But it's like, it was great at one point, like when Ramon was around, Ramon Aranda, who's now does the WWE 2K like PR and stuff.
Right.
We went to E3 representing 411 and everything way back in the day. But obviously, like after he left, it kind of just became like whoever was still around.
Right.
But again, it's not like you're very well. It doesn't feel like you're celebrated for what you do.
Right.
And so it doesn't really behoove you to be out there putting other priorities above that when none of that is
I mean, it's also
yeah,
chicken and the egg thing where it's like, okay, 411 kind of focuses on mainly wrestling at this point, I would
yeah,
say. Like wrestling and like some TV stuff or like some, movies and film.
a little bit
But
too. Yeah,
and they don't focus on games, so then how does the game section get exposed? Well, it doesn't. So
yeah,
that's when it withers and dies, further. Or
right.
so
Yeah,
yeah,
people get older too, have, like you said,
right,
more responsibilities, more things to do. And that becomes less of a priority. So as somebody that did spend a lot of time in my younger years, like sacrificing things for that site, and then having it have the person kind of make you feel like it doesn't matter.
right,
It made me feel like, well, what's the point? So,
right.
um,
Like if I
you know,
get if somehow a game comes in for review, even now that I
y-
want,
yeah,
I'll still do it. But who knows if
right.
it'll get published or when?
Yeah, there's not a lot of it's become very lo-fi as well, when like everybody else is like increasing the intensity of like doing video
Video,
on
right,
site, doing like, having more graphical kind of things. It's more like we're stuck in the 2000s with, now we're going to have no pictures because we're scared
yeah, I don't
about not giving, when all you have to do is give credit, especially in
right,
gaming. Like but it also affects the I guess the bandwidth of the site or whatever. So
right. I mean, I can see why I don't want to pay for hosting for images because after a while that adds up. Like I don't fault them for that. But it's funny
yeah.
when like Photo Bucket
But
made their
yeah,
big
but like
switch.
that's really bad when you're using outside third party sites. At any moment those sites can go down, and then
Right.
it looks even worse. So it's like, yeah. I remember we used both these Photo Bucket. I remember when like my Photo Bucket would like lapse or something, or when they started making you have to pay
Right.
All of a
Yeah.
sudden,
When
half my articles had like no pictures, and it looked so bad. I was like,
when they destroyed their own business model, it's a good job, I
yeah.
guess. Like,
Everything became that they were kind of one of the first ones that adopted the subscription thing of like, oh, pay $2 and you can have all your pictures and
right.
whatever.
But
But yeah,
streaming
moving
chance,
off
but
that, I did not
right.
mean for us to spend that
I'm
much time talking about it, but yeah,
and one last thing, like I'm still friends with Adam, and I know it was never
yeah,
like friendly with Jeremy, but like we're fine. Like,
yeah.
but just
Jeremy and I used to talk more
regularly.
back in the day,
Yeah.
when I was doing more news and stuff like that. When we had it,
Right. I
I had
mean,
to,
that
yeah.
was another problem. Is like the news. We were like never great for news in that site, and especially like previews. Like I don't want to do it.
Well, and
No one
also
else.
like the news thing, just like the news that they started selecting was like only wrestling related, and then it became like, well, what's the
Right.
point? Like,
Yeah.
um, it's also like news is also extremely thankless when nobody else is doing it. So I kind of understand, like,
Right.
it's not like Outer Haven when you have like everybody is dedicating themselves to like, okay, you got your reviews you're doing, but everybody kind of pitches in with news. Then it feels like, okay, you're all kind of fighting for the cause. But
Right.
in an increasing world where Google is making what you write useless, news is incredibly thankless when nobody else is doing it but you. So I kind of get it.
One last thing, 'cause I don't think you've published there in a few weeks at least. They instituted. I mean, I don't think it was them specifically, but WordPress forced on them that stupid readability scale thing.
Oh, that's
That
been there for a while. They started using that.
now I didn't really notice it until like maybe like the past month, but it annoys me to no end.
It's more like a guide. You don't have to. I know
No, I
you're
know
gonna.
that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I just see it as like a way to like homogenize the internet, like to make everyone like write how they want you to, or like
Right. Yeah.
increase like the SEO. And it's like this. I mean, I can understand like if it doesn't make sense or there are actual like grammatical issues, like that's fine.
Yeah.
But like complaining about like you don't have enough subheadings, it's like
Yeah.
okay, like
I've always used that as more of like it's a suggestion. As long as the other one that does matter, the overall like SEO
read
score thing doesn't go down,
right.
then
But,
that's what
yep.
matters. But all
Enough
right.
about that, I guess. Yep.
Moving on from stuff that probably nobody cares about there. I'm sorry. Let's move on to talking about the news. I really haven't I got to play a little bit more tactics.
Right.
I'm progressing in that game more. Hopefully again gonna go with the goal of try to beat it. And I played
Right.
like an hour of Ninja Gaiden 4, and I don't know that I really have played enough to be able to talk about it. So all right, so moving on here to video game stuff. Since we were kind of on that beat, I kind of forgot to put it in the doc. Matt Booty had a quote that was then taken across the internet about this is not the first time Xbox has said this, right? That their competition is not PlayStation and Nintendo, it's something else.
Right.
Matt Booty mentioned that their competition is now movies and TikTok, which in a way he's not wrong. That's everybody's competition.
Right.
Is time essentially it's everybody's competition is time. Not that it's TikTok or movies specifically, but like time is increasingly becoming more and more of an issue when you have something that can easily take away your attention in a split second, and then you realize that you lost 2 hours of your life that you have no idea what happened to it. Especially with the younger generations, but even us, like I've done it. I'll sit
Right.
there and I'll start up a game and I'm waiting for it to load or whatever, and I'll put on YouTube on my phone or something, and all of a sudden I'm watching that. Or same thing, like there's a lull in what I'm doing at work for a moment, and I start to fire up the game or whatever, and then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? it's less intensive for me to just put on this YouTube video than it is for me to like constantly go back and forth between like pause, do whatever I got to do, go back and unpause, and do, you know, and I can't imagine. I remember what it was like. It's hard enough, and this is me going from getting off the PC to literally moving into turning my chair to the TV. I'm mentally exhausted from working, and sometimes it's just feels better to go lay in my bed and watch something on YouTube than and even when I used to like come home at 1 a.m. from driving the almost an hour commute that I had, I really didn't feel like sitting down and playing a game, you know, at that point. So when people have, you know, us, the older generations have like 2 hours a day, 3, you know, having a kid also, like she's not a gamer in the traditional sense. You know, I spent time watching so, you know, movies with her or whatever, and you know, maybe if I was single and didn't have kids, I would have spent that time gaming, right? But I do. What do you think about this whole thing? Like, do you feel like it's him, I guess, deflecting from that, or does he have a kind of a point?
Well, the solution to his problem would be to put TikTok on the Xbox. I mean, done and done. No, he has a point, but like they're not making the Xbox or, you know, that console a priority.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same way. Like, it's the same way. Like, look at like a kid's not well, like their attention span or like what they focus on. It's kind of the same thing as like 411. Like, you focus on what's either like popular or what everyone else is talking about. So at 401, it's, you know, wrestling and in movies. With kids, it's TikTok because the Xbox doesn't have a ton of like specific good things going on with it to make people excited. So that's a problem. I mean
that in of itself, I think that's not a problem necessarily this year. They definitely have the games this year.
But
in the
even in like even like past years, or you know,
in the past, definitely the Xbox wasn't the thing. But I mean, they still had things you could turn on Game Pass or whatever. I think even I think it's just more of the mindset of people, right? Like you've got to create experiences that people want to play. And you're right about, for by and large, this year they have had that, whether it's obviously not all of them are their experiences, right? We're talking about games that like Expedition 33, they just happen to be on Game Pass and they got the benefit from that. Obviously they paid money to have that on there. And so that kind of got, but you could also buy Expedition 33 on other places. You didn't have to play it on Xbox.
I mean, I would say like
obviously they don't care where you play either because they say everything is an Xbox. They had a new, I don't know if you saw the new ad that they had this week, which is like a boxer showing off a bunch of different screens or whatever. I kind of get like that makes sense. What like we talked about last week, it's not just about the 30% you know, thing that they have to deal with now of the
profit margin or
know, profit margins. It's also like it makes sense of like them wanting to go where the people where that next generation is. The problem is does that next generation just skip all of that completely and just stay in the ecosystems that they're already in the Fortnites, in the Roblox, all that, and maybe there's a little bit of like it doesn't matter what you do, they're not going to come to that, you know.
You know, the really scary idea is that like assuming the PlayStation 7 comes out in like 2 or 3 years. I mean, I want to be further along.
2 or 3 years? The PlayStation 7, we haven't even gotten to the 6 yet.
Sorry, PlayStation 6. Yeah. But assuming the PS6 comes out in like 2 or 3 years, there are still going to be companies that are putting out like PS4 games,
Yeah.
and like think
And they're
about that.
still going to do it probably.
Yeah, well, think about that from like, imagine like when the N64 came out, there like some company was still putting on an NES game. Like how completely antiquated that would be. Or like
Right.
when the PS3 came out, oh, it's like, oh, here's a PS1 game that just came out the same day. It's like, what? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it would be pretty incredible also, just to think about that, of like you are going to have 3 generations of
Yeah,
PlayStation that you're now going to have to get people off of.
right,
I did find it interesting, kind of just to go on this topic too, because it makes sense because it's another screen. It's a screen that you can have. There's rumors going around of, could PlayStation be testing out allowing you to stream your own games without having to be tethered to the PS5. Um, and obviously you have to be subscribed to PlayStation Plus
right,
to do it. So it's like Game Pass, in order to use the cloud for now, you have to be subscribed to Game Pass. Mostly you can stream the portal without using having to be connected to Wi-Fi in your house, but you still have to like connect to the PS5, essentially, sort of.
right,
Like now, the thought is, well, the idea was that they were never going to make it to where you could technically take it with you, right? Could they be appreciating this technology of saying, oh, now you can actually go out of your house and go outside or go somewhere and have your portal and use it to stream a game that you own, via it, as long as you're subscribed to PS Plus. Like that is a way to keep people kind of within the ecosystem, within the like using that instead of using my phone, or even technically you can play on your phone too, but you know,
right,
um, at least the portal makes, when somebody looks at the portal, they'll go, "Oh, that's a PlayStation." Right?
right.
Like,
Or
oh,
like
it
look
makes
at
you
a
think
console.
when you're using your phone, you may not be playing a game at all, right?
Right,
Or you're not playing the traditional game. So people just kind of look at it like, maybe he's playing like Candy Crush or something, or
right.
whatever,
Puzzle
Monopoly
Quest.
Go, or whatever mobile game is hot at the moment. Um, yeah, so like I do think that makes a difference, but like I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting thing. I do see Matt Booty's point. I do think he's deflecting a bit there.
Yeah,
Very much like the whole he was right in that, yes, Amazon and Google are also buying for your time, and they were scared at one point that they were going to get involved heavily in gaming. Both of them have now, Google's foray into gaming didn't work. It was a
oh,
good idea, just they tried to make it something that it should not have been.
I mean, I
Um,
was going to talk about that like in a lull, but did you see the guy from Amazon? Or did you did you talk about the layoffs at all? Or do you want?
no, that's what I was going to bring it up. Was, yeah, they laid off 14,000 people,
Yeah,
and part of that is New World has essentially been shut down.
right,
They're still working on some of the games that are not MMOs or in development or whatever, but they pretty much hurt the gaming side of things a lot. Aside from
right.
also workers from other entry level positions and stuff like that, that they've been one of the big ones about generative AI and all that stuff.
But
Yeah,
no, about the Amazon thing. Did you see the guy Ethan Evans talking?
I did not.
So he was the VP of Prime Gaming at Amazon, and he got laid off. I
Yeah,
assume. I think he did. Yeah, and he talked about like how Amazon, it was like a David and Goliath fight, where Amazon is Goliath and Steam was like David, and how Goliath lost, just like Amazon. Like we there were 15 years of Amazon trying to break into the PC gaming market, and it completely never worked. Like,
Yeah.
they bought Twitch, and they started that like Twitch store, but no one buys games off it because, like, why would you? And
And also,
like,
like that, I don't know what, like, where does it help them to give away all the games for free, like that they do? Like, I don't.
well, especially like not on their
Yeah,
platform. I mean, they were giving codes out to like Epic and GOG.
yeah,
But oh, he said he had a few choice quotes. One was, just because you're big enough to build something doesn't mean people will use it.
it's true.
And he said, like, we needed to build something dramatically better, but we failed to do so. And like, the sentiment was basically like, oh, you're trying to solve a problem that like never actually existed. Like, they wanted to, like, change the landscape of PC gaming, or upset the paradigm and all that crap. And I was like, no, like,
Well,
people
they
are
also
happy.
tried to do the Amazon Luna thing,
Yeah, they talked about
right?
that. Like,
Yeah,
that was one of the things they talked about. Along the Stadia, he's like, we built Luna, a streaming service that let people play with a high-end PC along the state, like Google Stadia. Neither gained a significant traction the whole time. Steam dominated despite being a relatively small company, like compared to Amazon and Google.
right.
Uh, so yeah, it's a lot of like really, and he only did like a very small LinkedIn thing, but it's like, yeah, you really didn't get it, did you? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing
and
with
it's
like Netflix, right?
and it's the same thing like with like Epic. Like, the only reason Epic Game Store exists really is Fortnite, and they're giving away free games. But it's not like people are like happy with it, or people care.
Yeah, people use the Epic launcher for the things that they use it for, but it's not
Right,
the de facto like launcher that people want it. They don't want to.
right,
There's people that just they don't even care about the free games. They don't open it, or they don't even have it installed at all.
right.
Um, so
That's
like
me, by
that's
the way. All right.
yeah, I don't have it installed at all. I was at one point getting the free games, whatever, but it just became, it's like, I'm never going to use this. My PC can't, my laptop cannot play most of these games anyway. Like,
Right.
so what's the
I mean,
point?
I used it once when they like introduced it, kind of, because they had Shadow Complex. They gave that
And
away for
then
free.
didn't you also get a code for Alan Wake 2 on it or something?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. I,
But
th-
it's
I
something
think
that I
it was. I
care
think
about.
you did, and then like it didn't work or something, and then you had to like
Right. But yeah, it's like, I'm never going to use this thing at all, especially like when Shadow Complex went to Steam anyway. So
right. Um, it is just interesting how all
yeah.
that is like kind of playing out.
I mean, it's also like, yeah, people's attention spans are so short nowadays, and they can't focus on anything. That, like, yeah, it's not a surprise that like long form traditional gaming is kind of going by the wayside, because it's not some 7 second, you know, video, or 7 second gameplay thing. It's like, no, this takes hours to play through, or sometimes days.
Or people just not even like something that we didn't bring up last week. That I meant to kind of bring up was that there's increasingly and there was I think we talked about it. There was a study going on of like there's increasingly more and more people, obviously because of time as well, that they spend more time watching things about games than actually playing games,
Oh yeah,
right? And then there's the story about not that this is the first time, right? Because we went through it with Persona 5 when we were reviewing it, about how they didn't want you to be posting spoilers and things like that.
right,
But it's different when you're asking people that have bought the game and telling them that you now have a month where you cannot, they don't want you to post the ending or
right.
whatever, or any kind of like high impact spoilers of Dragon Quest 2, which is like a freaking what 40-year-old
20,
game at this
30,
point. Like,
yeah,
yeah, like for one, the irony that it's a 40-year-old game.
right,
Secondly, that so many people will just not. They won't buy Ghost of Yote either because they don't have the means to buy it, or they don't care, or they just want to look at the story but they don't want to play the game, and they'll literally just watch somebody stream the game and never buy it or never play it. And it is increasingly like that is also a thing, right? Because it's a passive way to enjoy the same thing. Doesn't require a lot of effort. Gaming requires effort. You have to actually hold the controller and do stuff, right? You can't just sit there and watch it. So
have you ever seen the edited like Spider-Man, the PS5 or the PS4 game? Like someone edited that to be like a movie.
Yeah,
like they
they've done that with like Remake. I remember watching,
and it's like wow, like I guess it's kind of impressive in a sense, but like you're not getting much out of this, really. Like
it's weird for me because like I've sat there and like, oh, I really like this game. I'll try to do it, and it's just like, I guess it's because I'm not of that generation. I can't do that. Like I literally cannot sit there and watch, hours of cutscenes or whatever.
Unless it was
like
unless the game was like super narrative driven and like the gameplay itself was just like bad, I might do it in that case. But even then, I'd probably just rather experience it for myself.
That was the whole thing with the Order 1886, right? That was like one of the first games that was like, it's really short, and you could literally experience that within like a few hours of watching it. So a lot of people did do that, right? And it was one of those first times where you're like, oh shoot, I just played the whole game. Almost like there's debates that happen. Literally, I sit there and watch it on Blue Sky or Twitter, X, people saying, should it be considered that I played the game if I watched the whole thing? And it's like, you didn't play the game. You literally watched it. Like you watched if you want to say you watched the game or you know the story, that's cool.
Right.
Whatever. But you didn't play the game. You did not experience the gameplay yourself. You're just watching somebody else play it. I mean, no shade to you. If that's how you want to experience games, go for it. But I'm just saying,
the only counter I would say to that was like when Giant Bomb, like way back in the day, did like the Persona 4 endurance run. Like I think Vinny was the one like playing the game. And Jeff was like just sitting next to him, like talking or like telling him what to do.
I think that's different though.
Yeah. I mean, like Jeff didn't play the game, quote unquote, but like he experienced it and had agency in the game. So that's perfectly fine.
I think it's also different if you're like engaging with that streamer in chat constantly and like giving them advice and things like that, whatever. If you're just sitting there, saying nothing,
or it is like watching a replay on YouTube or something. It's like, what? Like you didn't play anything. Like
to me, it's like watching the highlights of a basketball game or football and saying I watched the game. I didn't. I watched the highlights. So there's a lot, trust me, as somebody that doesn't have time anymore to watch, I do at times, but there's times where like this Sunday I didn't feel like sitting there watching hours and hours of Red Zone or whatever. And I watched other stuff. And I'd rather watch something else, right? Or whatever. But I'm not gonna say, oh, I watched Red Zone for 6 hours. I watched the game. I didn't,
Right.
So, it is what it is. But I guess the whole point in all of this is that it kind of shows like the fragments of gaming of like there's so many subcultures of gaming of just how you experience it, what you do with it, and a lot of it doesn't even require you to have those systems or those games, and that takes away time from playing those games, right? So, but it did bring up the idea, I was going to bring it by you as well, of like the whole Dragon Quest thing, of there seemed to be kind of conversation about like, would Square-Enix actually take down the videos? Because technically it could be considered copyright infringement It's just nobody in gaming does it because streaming is like kind of like a de facto way to get promotion. But
Right.
do you think we'll ever get to that point where somebody starts getting into people's ears about how this is actually preventing people from buying the game, so we don't want you to be streaming it or doing like full long plays of it?
Like one thing I do, and this is actually kind of like related somewhat, is I watch a lot of movie reaction people on YouTube.
Right, yeah.
Someone watching a movie on YouTube and then reacting to it. And one of the bigger ones recently, like within I think she did it like within the past week, she reacted to Train to Busan, the old like 10-year-old
I
Korean
remember that movie.
zombie movie. And it got yanked within like 3 days by some Korean, not censor, but like some production company or someone associated with the movie. And
Makes
it's like,
sense.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but like, well, it makes sense. Like it was some Korean company, obviously, but like that movie's not like getting like a ton of new fans, and she has a very large fan base. I mean, she has over like 450,000 subscribers.
Right.
So why not let her react to the movie, because it might get someone else to buy the movie or to rent it, and then you get a new customer.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I see that. Like, I don't think Square would do it. I think Enix might, and I want to say, didn't Sega try to at some point as well with like some, not
Well, I
Persona,
remember
but
Sega did it. Sega Atlas did it with Persona. Like they didn't want you to
okay,
do it for a
I guess it
while.
was Persona, but I
Yeah,
thought it might have been like, I thought it was like some other Yakuza thing as well. But
yeah, Yakuza 2. They didn't want you to
yeah,
do it for the last game because of the
right,
Curie stuff. They didn't want you to be doing it.
all right.
So yeah,
I mean,
it's interesting.
I can see it happening, but like I think it's very short sighted, because I think like them spoiling some minor point might get more people interested in it or excited about it.
Yeah, I mean that's true, and I mean that is why streaming it's been so accepted, right? Because
Right.
it does get attention to your game. It
Yeah.
does, bring
I
it.
mean,
Look at Escape from Tarkov has literally lived off people like they stream that thing, and it's just now gone gold 10 years later.
well, it's also like, I mean, we just talked about for 129 Games reviews and like a lot of other sites as well, or like game reviewing isn't that popular anymore in the grand scheme of things. So
Right.
I would say it's like free marketing. Like, assuming the thing is actually good,
Well,
like that.
and also everything has to be like video now,
Right.
So the written word has definitely lost its luster. Let's be
Right.
frank. So,
But I mean,
yeah.
I would say it's just like, yeah, like free marketing, or like, it's not quite like word of mouth or uh natural marketing per se, but it's still marketing, and it still gets people interested or knowledgeable about a product, or whatever game or movie or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah,
But all right. I kind of just threw that out there into the ether. I did not think we were going to talk about that long, but that's cool.
sure,
Sometimes we could just have those conversations.
right,
So throwing in a few more Xbox things here, just to kind of like, I guess, have a counter to the everybody dooming and glooming about the Game Pass price hike. Interesting that the Call of Duty devs. Now this is a Call of Duty leaker that posted this, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. As
right.
far as like, who did he talk to? How high up in the food chain are these people that are talking? But according to him, um, he spoke to several Call of Duty developers who say that the price increase to Game Pass from $20 to $30 is a positive for Call of Duty, because for them as individuals, it will lead to more revenue, which means they're more in control of their future and what they can achieve. There's also a lot more financial upside with bonuses and such that they're successful now. I
I
can
don't
kind of
see
see
that.
it. I
I
can
don't see
kind of
that
see
last
that in
one.
a way, but yeah.
Well, like, okay, if the game is tied to, let's say the game is tied to like, oh, the game generates $100 million. This is just an example, or just made up numbers. But if the game generates $100 million in revenue, everyone gets a $1,000 bonus. It's like, okay, but not now you've raised the price on Game Pass. A lot of people canceled it.
Yeah.
How is this going to equal out to that $100 million revenue target? Probably not. Or it would make it a lot dicier proposition than the
It's
$20 price.
probably more of, it's in the same kind of vein of like the raising the prices on whatchamacallit, on the consoles, right?
Right.
Of like, does doing this at all actually help you, or is it just you think that because now, okay, there's a lesser amount of the pie,
Yeah.
so now you're gonna get more money out of those same people, and it's like, well, not if those people cancel, you're not.
Yeah. It's like what
So,
those same people, but what if those same people, like a third of them go away? Like,
right. So essentially, you just your idea backfired on you, and then now you're just stuck with nobody wants to buy this, nobody wants to subscribe to it. I think ultimately what's going to happen is people are just going to be more selective about when they subscribe. Call of Duty is still going to be one of those things where people are going to be like,
sure.
all right, I only really want to play this for like a month with my friends,
Right.
or oh, okay, we can pay for this. And then, we're going to have family over for the holidays or something. And why not, get a whole month out of it or whatever. And then if they don't ever plan to play it again, then sure. Okay. You save money. But then that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, once you get to like 2 month subscription, it's like, oh, I could have just bought the game.
Right.
Whereas before it was 3.5 months ish. So that's the issue you're getting into as well. Is like, even though Microsoft doesn't care, right? They get money regardless of whether you buy the thing or you just keep subscribing on Game Pass. But it does eventually. What if they just don't do either? And that's the thing that's going to be interesting. Of like, how many of those people are just not going to end up buying the game and they just don't subscribe to Game Pass at all, or they only subscribe to like the $10 essential tier and then that's it. I get what they're saying. It makes sense if this does work in their favor, but there's a chance that it doesn't. Also.
Right. Or it becomes a much. I think well, any subscriber service counts on people forgetting that they subscribe to it, or becomes just a reoccurring cost, or like they didn't even notice. But like once it's $30, people start to notice.
Yeah, it's like that thing of like, I would subscribe to Apple TV Plus because they would always have these like free promotions or whatever, and there's always something to watch on there.
Right.
Or like, oh, let me catch up with like Ted Lasso, or whatever. That
Yeah.
What's Up, Cube?
Or Severance, or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. So like, then all of a sudden it goes from nothing to $12. Like, oh crap, I forgot to cancel that thing. Let me cancel it now.
Quickly cancel, and then
so, now that's the same that's gonna happen to a lot of people. Be like, oh crap, it went from $20 to $30 now. It's like, oh shit, I'm gonna cancel this now. It's like,
right.
And then a lot of people probably don't even remember that they have to have something so they can do the online if they even use that. So that's it's gonna be interesting to see if that ends up working out for them. And also, how much does Black Ops 7 with Battlefield 6 be in there now? Does any of that eat into Black Ops 7 sales?
Right.
When that comes out. And just a week and a half here. So also apparently this there's a Halo leaker, which to be fair, this wouldn't be that far-fetched. If there's a Halo campaign evolved, why wouldn't there be a Halo 2 and 3 campaign evolved? If this is how you're going to release all these games on PlayStation, I guess why not? I do think at some point you got to introduce the multiplayer component, because that's kind of like a major Halo thing. Like, how many people started playing Halo because of Halo 1, 2, and 3 multiplayer? Like, You know,
You're partially right, but like it used to be a big thing. Like
I
I
know,
think
but
that
I
type of
do think
like,
that there's a lot of people that haven't played that. You know, that maybe they do want to.
well, I think it's like like Halo never really had persistence, like
Yeah,
compared to like Call of Duty, for example. Like Halo's
right.
persistence was like cosmetics or shit like that. Uh, I think like once kind of Call of Duty 4 came out, like way back in the day, that kind of killed a lot of the old guard like multiplayer shooters. Like look at like
Right.
Unreal Tournament or
Oh, yeah. I
Quake
know the tournament
or
just
you know I don't think Halo's like bad, but I just think it's like only people like 35 and older care about Halo.
they they had a good thing going with Infinite for a small moment, and then they dropped the ball.
Right.
Um, I don't know if if you're going to do the whole nostalgia package. I just feel like you're going to need to do the entire nostalgia package and not just partial nostalgia package. Because I
Right.
think the problem is you have obviously they don't really care, especially on PlayStation. If you paid the $70, all that
Right.
matters is that you paid the $70. But
Well, no, if they give a
they want
multiplayer,
you to keep playing that game, right? So I just
right.
feel like it is an interesting. Like I wonder if they're ever going to bring that in some form to
I think
PlayStation
it
at
might.
all.
Assuming I think if the project, if like that Halo one thing actually does like really well, I think they will.
Yeah.
Or if there's a huge demand for it. But like, I don't know, that Gears of War thing kind of came and went
I
and didn't do
yeah, I
great.
worry a little bit about that too. Like how much of this is going to be Gears of War Reloaded again, where
Right.
it's like this game is even older than Gears 1.
Yeah.
It's not
I'm,
like we haven't had a remaster of Halo 1 before. It was still inaccessible to PlayStation,
right. I
but
mean, it could
yeah,
be like another Forza, like oh,
yeah.
Halo's on PS5, or this is amazing. But I don't know. I think as franchises kind of grow or get older, and the successive ones didn't do as quite as hot, it's a much more uphill challenge.
Yeah, I mean, Gears suffered with that too, right? Where
Right.
like it got critical success, but like it felt like the fan base was kind of dwindling on it
Yeah.
especially as you got to Gears 5.
Right.
Uh, so then it's like Halo has gone through the similar patterns as well, where Infinite. Yes, you're right. Your PS5 is an awesome Xbox. They want it to be an Xbox. Every screen is a box, right? Um,
Well, it'll be funny once they put out like a like an Xbox gamer skin or like a console skin that just makes it look like an Xbox.
yeah, right. No, that's true. I mean, they had the guy. What was it? The person like introducing the whole thing was wearing a PS5 shirt. So
Right.
that didn't really help anybody with the you still got your console war mindset or whatever. Um, no, but I do worry about it a little bit just because it's like, are you going to get the people that be like, oh man, I don't care about this thing. It's old.
Right.
It's the old game. Like it's not even like you brought over Halo Infinite. You brought over the oldest freaking game in the franchise. Like I have no
I'm
nostalgia for this at all.
I think that
Yeah,
you do have a point, but I think like Halo 1 is still like pretty revered,
yeah, that's true.
and people will want it for nostalgia's sake.
I hope so.
Somewhat. Yeah.
As somebody that
But
loves Halo, I definitely hope so. I don't want to see Halo
see,
campaign evolve come out and it become Gears Reloaded as yeah,
I kind of am that guy because like I liked Halo 1 a lot, and even
yeah,
I think the single player, and I don't like 2. I don't really play 3 that much. I don't think I've touched it much.
yeah.
But I hated ODST, uh, and loved Reach.
I liked both of those, but yeah, Reach was much better for sure.
Yeah. So I think like them bringing Halo 1, it's the right move, and just a single player just kind of test the waters and like, hey, if there is a market for this, either with old fans or new fans. Like, hey,
Yeah.
they'll have a much easier time just with like the engine, like making Halo 2 and 3.
Right. Hopefully, also, with some of the kind of bad news that's coming out about how it looks, they have another one of those moments, just like they did with Infinite, where it's like, okay, let's make sure that this is really good when it comes out. Like,
Right.
This has to be great from day one. It cannot be, we got to patch it and do all this stuff or whatever, because once
Right.
you have it come out in a bad state, you're going to lose so many people that be like, well, I'm
Yep.
no longer interested,
Right.
Speaking of things that maybe would have been popular back in the day, but you have to wonder about now if it could even come out now. But at some point, Ensemble Studios was working on, and these are people that, the one person making the post on social media was a level designer on Doom and Quake, Sandy Peterson. There was at one point going to be a Halo MMO, nicknamed Titan. Has nothing to do with the Blizzard Titan MMO thing. But Ensemble Studios was working on it. It was supposed to be set like tens of thousands of years before the Halos were set off and destroyed all sentient life in the galaxy. And they said it, they told, Microsoft brass that it would take 3.5 years to get made. And then Don Mattrick apparently figured out that his bonuses are on like a 3-year cycle.
Yeah.
And he canned it. And said no. And so, they basically fired everybody at Ensemble. He didn't have to pay for the studio or the 3 years it would take to make the game. Apparently, it would have had a big old universe of Forerunners and Covenant characters, and Flood would have all been playable. You would have had a lot of home worlds and stuff. And it would apparently, according to whoever was doing these estimates, they thought it would have made $1.1 billion. This is like back in 2008, 2009. So Halo was still in a much healthier state at that point. Would you have played a Halo MMO?
Fuck no. Like, the fact they even consider that is crazy to me, because aside from like John or Master Chief, like, what is Halo? Like, no one, who the fuck cares about the Flood?
Yo, that's Mark. Do you know how many books there exists about Halo? Like, you know how much lore there is about
80% of them have Master Chief or has humans in it. Like, if this thing has taken place thousands of years in the past, it's like, what? Are you guys crazy?
I mean, I'm sure you would gradually add in, like, humans.
Well, it's the same thing as
things.
we didn't talk about it with the Amazon layoffs, but like how their Lord of the Rings MMOs like likely canceled.
Yeah, I forgot to
It's
bring
like,
that up. Yeah,
who's wanting that? Like, you're trying to make an MMO out of a property that is extremely not MMO friendly.
I mean, it definitely has it's one of those of like, it has the lore and the different things you could put into it.
Well, it has
right, but
the name recognition, but like that's it, because the universe is like not. It was made 100 years ago, 120 or whatever. Like, it's not designed for modern aesthetics like that. Like, you'd have a better time making a Game of Thrones MMO, and even that wouldn't work that well. But
yeah,
at least you have like the
yeah.
concept of like the houses being guilds or something, or you'd have like a better shot, like with like more characters at least.
Yeah.
Like who would you play as in like a Halo MMO? Like, you only have 2 playable races, a Covenant or the Flood, and it's like, okay, I guess.
I mean, they may not have mentioned humans because it was a kind of like a default, like, of course there's going to be humans, or
But like, what, the
whatever.
humans of 10,000 years ago, and this ain't Star Wars. Like,
I mean, but we're talking about like space or whatever. So by that point, the 10,000 years ago, it's still kind of like advanced humans or whatever, depending on whenever they wanted to set this thing. I don't think we're talking about like cavemen humans here that they would have been putting in the game.
It's such a ill-fated idea. It's like, no wonder. Like,
No, I mean,
Halo,
I could definitely see Don Mattrick at that point being like,
I mean,
"Yo, I'm not waiting 3 years to see if this game is
right.
going to
Also,
be anything."
that's a pretty short time for an MMO. Like, I don't think they would have pulled that off in 3.5 years to begin with, because you have to spend at least a year or two, kind of scoping out the project and seeing how big you want to make it.
Right.
Like, and then going like, oh, it's going to be $1 billion MMO. It's like, no. Like, I think only
Yeah.
like WoW's ever gotten to that, or maybe like Maple Factory or something, like some Korean piece of garbage. But that's about it. Like, I can make $1 billion off this. You guys are crazy.
I mean, definitely there's estimates, and then there's what would have actually happened. We are also looking at it within a lens where, like, obviously now you have your stalwart MMOs, and then everybody else is doing other multiplayer things. This would have been a different time.
I mean, this was around the same time as I assume that Kingdom of Amalur MMO.
Yeah.
Look how well that worked out.
I mean, that wasn't supposed to be an MMO though. Like they were gonna make it an MMO, and then they changed it to just being a game. So
No, they were still working in the MMO when they got all shut down. Like they were
yeah,
like
but I mean,
right on the friends and family beta. So
that was also like, you know, that's a bad studio to look at, because I mean they kind of like squandered a bunch of that money and all that stuff,
yeah,
and they, Kurt Schilling at some points didn't even know what the hell he was doing. So
right,
but also this was like when like Wrath of the Lich King was just coming out, like 2008, 2009. So it's like WoW was still kind of like in the like good
the heyday, yeah,
the heyday. So I mean, I could see it. I could see how they thought, oh, it's gonna make a bunch of money back then, right? Because WoW is king of the jungle. It's an MMO. Oh, you make another MMO, you make a Halo MMO. Oh my god, it's gonna be amazing, right? Like, it's still kind of like makes me wonder of like how many people are really gonna gravitate to that Horizon MMO if
no,
that ever comes out. Like
I would be shocked if that thing gets over 1 million players.
and also it's like, aren't you kind of fighting against each other by having an MMO and a multiplayer thing? So
Right.
like, how are you gonna have people play both of those games? And
It
how are they
totally
going to
cross
be
over.
different? It's not like they have
Right.
what are you going to do? Have a completely different gameplay set for the MMO that you would have for that other multiplayer game? Like, I just don't get how you're going to have both of those things going on around the same time and coexisting with each other.
Right.
It's the same thing of like, there's a reason why I think Nintendo's never actually made the Pokemon MMO, because once you make the Pokemon MMO, like, what's the point of making the actual individual games?
Well, they could do what Atlas did, make a Shin Megami Tensei MMO and have it be so shitty that no one cared about it. It died within like a year.
That's true, but I just mean like in general, like, unless you make something like the spin-offs, obviously they could still exist, but like the main core Pokemon, if you make that into an MMO, there'd be no point of continuing to make just the core Pokemon, because you would just keep making them,
That's why there's never been a Warcraft 4. Like, they stopped after 3 because WoW came out, and it's like, you're not going to get people to care about Warcraft 4.
I mean, technically Warcraft is a different genre, so you could, but yes, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting how they do that there eventually. Just really quick, even though you gave me a great segue to the other thing, or kind of major thing, is I guess I'll just get to that stuff at the end, because it is more about like kind of talking about games themselves. Talking about living in worlds, Animal Crossing New Horizons. There's a lot of people have been talking about, when is Animal Crossing going to get anything for Switch 2? Such a huge game in 2020. But then of course, Nintendo kind of stopped supporting it a year later, so a lot of people like abandoned their islands. Right. They're making a Switch 2 edition which will cost $65 if you never bought the game. It's releasing January 15, 2026. Or you can upgrade like yourself for $5. You get 4K visuals in TV mode, mouse controls with the right Joy-Con, in-game megaphone that allows you to call for residents on the island, 12-player online sessions with other Switch 2 players, and you can also play with the camera. That makes totally one of the things I thought about when they said they were going to do is Animal Crossing would be one of the big ones for the camera thing.
Right.
They're also doing a free update. It has a new like resort hotel, and you can even collect like various Nintendo things, like the Ultra Hand and other Zelda things. You can even bring in Lego items, stuff from Splatoon and whatnot. There's also going to be another island, Slumber Island, as well. So any of this stuff grab you to make you want to go back to your island?
No, because it seems like it's not desperate per se, but it seems like a fail-safe against them having to make a new game, or like stopgap measure. Same with like that Kirby thing. Like you can put out some DLC, I guess, and here you go. But expect a new Kirby game in 4 years, and expect a new Animal Crossing in like 4 years as well.
Oh, definitely. I mean, to be fair, like I don't think you need to like be rushing out a new Animal Crossing
right.
at this point. Like some people could say, hey, you could just improve Animal Crossing New Horizons instead and just keep working on that. But obviously Nintendo kind of wanted to do something else. They also had the mobile game, the Pocket Camp, or whatever they were working on. So hey, I'm happy for the Animal Crossing fans.
Yeah, but like you said, so many people abandon it. It's like I don't think this is going to bring back a ton of people. Like either.
I mean, they are picking a good time of the year. Like January kind of has that time where it's
people
okay.
in the winter. People are in their homes or more bundled up, just like when COVID happened, I guess. But
yeah, so maybe it'll bring back more than we think, but we'll see.
Hey, it being $5 if you already have it, that's actually a good price. Like it's not 20. Like good on them for that, I guess.
Yeah, definitely good on them. And I mean, they could have easily probably tried to charge 70 for it, and
it's like the same. Like if they suddenly made like a Mario Maker 2 Switch 2 version, it's like what? Like
if there's a game made for mouse controls, there you go.
Yeah, but it's like, wouldn't you just rather have Mario Maker 3, like something new, completely new, and
I agree with
hopefully
that.
better?
Yeah, I did like that Game Builder Garage thing that they made. That was fun for a while. But also other Nintendo things. Pokemon TCG Pocket has earned an estimated $1.3 billion with a B. Of course, this is estimated from the data from App Magic. Thanks to Pocket Gamer for actually putting this out. And it's apparently been downloaded 150 million times, the app itself. Not surprising. TCG Pocket is huge.
Right.
I had it for a while until I, was just like, all right, I don't care about having digital cards.
Until you got back to SuperCard.
Yeah, exactly. There's gonna be SuperCard. But no, I do think this is whatever. It's cool. Again, it just shows the power of Pokemon.
Right.
They can come out with whatever, and people will buy it. And it's a good game, though. It's not like it's bad. It's just hey, people are appreciating it, so that's a good thing at least. Yeah. Nintendo was not granted the Catch-You mechanic patent in Japan. Whenever we talked about some weeks ago about the U.S. granting them the patent, but in Japan it was not. They said that apparently there is precedent to show that other games like Ark, Craftopia, Monster Hunter 4, and even Pokemon Go itself show that the mechanics fall under the descriptions in the application and that these ideas already existed. It's possible Pocket Pair had something to do with it, obviously, because they got that lawsuit going on with Pokemon. But hey, that's a win, right? A win for.
I think Nintendo's like, if they cared about this, they should have done it back in 1987 when Pokemon came out.
Right, but that's the point. They
Like,
didn't they didn't think anybody would challenge them like this. And to be fair, most of the other ones, even Temtem, that is the Pokemon MMO, right?
right.
Or Nexomon, or even Digimon is now Digimon's kind of like getting into their territory a little bit with the story games. But even then, they're not you're not catching them. Pocket Bear basically took it to them, made a type of game that people have been wanting for Nintendo to make. But let's be real, it's about the character designs, and we know this.
Yeah.
That's why they were just trying to find a reason to be able to get at them, and they found a flimsy one. I don't know if they're going to be able to win because of this or not, but we'll see. But I do think that's encouraging for Pocket Pair that they won at least one of these.
Right.
That it wasn't like a landslide. Nintendo got everything, and especially in the country where they're fighting this,
right?
In Japan, they won. So we'll see. I mean, it doesn't mean that automatically the judge has to agree with what they decided here, but there is precedent to where like that's given a big standing or whatnot. So
yeah.
Really quick, the PlayStation Plus games for this month are not that great. You got Stray, which was obviously on PS Plus for a long time, but in the extra premium tiers. Now it's you can just get it on Essential. Also EA Sports WRC 24.
Finally.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna be playing that.
What they didn't really care about.
Right.
But they want you to care about it all of a sudden. And then also, what is the other game? Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. Also is on here as well. So, like I said, not a great month or whatever. But
I can totally simulate my battles accurately.
Moving on to some more, I guess, talking about old stuff. This is the talking about old stuff week. Dan Houser. He does not give interviews hardly ever.
Right.
This is, of course, the
Rockstar
one of the head
way.
honchos of Rockstar.
Yeah.
Rockstar Games. He had some interesting quotes. It's a long interview, like almost like 3 hours. Go check it out if you really want to hear what he had to say on various topics, especially like GTA related and Red Dead Redemption 2 related. But he talked about like there was a game called Agent.
Yeah.
That they had cooking for a long time. First time teased in 2007. It was announced in 2009. And then it was in development for 10 years and then canceled.
Right.
Dan Houser said they worked on a lot of multiple iterations of an open world spy game. It never came together. Agent had about 5 different iterations. I don't think it works. I concluded. I keep thinking about it sometimes. I lie in bed thinking about it. I've concluded what makes them really good as film stories makes them not work as video games, or I need to think through how to do it a different way as a video game. Of course, the one that was announced was set in the 70s Cold War. He said that was one of the settings. There was also one set in modern day. There was other ones as well. And he basically just kind of he said he questioned if you can make a good open world spy game. What do you think about that? Can you make a good open world spy game?
It depends on. To me, it depends on the definition of spy, and then what the tasks are. Like, I would consider Hitman a good open world spy game. It ain't for me, I guess, but people like it. And you're assassinating targets, but like, what do spies do? Like, they kill people or whatever. Like, so what's the definition of spy in this context? But I would say like, and speaking of Hitman, like that upcoming 007 game was pretty good.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, Alpha Protocol wasn't open world, but that was a good spy game. But it depends because you have to like kind of build an open world like a spy game in like a city because you can't like have like spies in like the jungle and shit like that. Like where are they spying?
Right.
You know. So it's a really kind of nebulous concept when you're trying to like break it down because it's like what do you want the spies to do or what do you want them to do like the missions to do? Like do you want them to kill people or like bug the office or whatever. Then how big do you want the game to be? Like I would say like in that respect maybe that Metal Gear Solid 5 or the good one, not Ground Zeroes but Phantom Pain.
Right.
But that's not like spot. You're not like James Bond or like. So that's kind of same thing,
Yeah. I mean, I really love that original, the GoldenEye like campaign for James Bond.
Right.
So,
but that's just like based off the movie, and you're not like that's just a shooter. I mean,
right.
I love GoldenEye. Don't get me wrong.
It wasn't open world though. It was just like
yeah,
story
just mission based.
and,
But even if it was open world, it's like you're just going from location to location and blowing up, Boris and whatever, and trying to save Natasha. Like,
yeah,
sure, I guess, but you're not like spying unless you're like really trying to do like the weird objective crap.
right. Yeah, I mean, it is like it's crazy that he's one of the greatest game makers out there.
Right.
He couldn't make it work. It's like there's probably a reason why there's not been that many.
I mean, I think not the idea of marrying an open world game to a spy game is inherently kind of flawed.
Yeah.
Because spies have like specific missions and objectives, and
right. And it's like, well, do you make it all kind of like stealth, like Hitman, or do you kind of go
right.
more of the action approach, or so? It is like if there's anybody that could probably make it happen, it would be the guys that make Hitman. So maybe 007 will be.
I mean, actually, I would say a close analog, and it's not modern day, obviously, but would be like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
because you're not like James Bond, but you are observing people or like eavesdropping and then killing people occasionally and then stealing stuff or doing whatever. But
you are a hitman in a sense. You're just in a different kind of hitman,
right? But you're doing more shit than like Agent 47 and Hitman, for example, who literally is just killing people. Like especially that first Assassin's Creed game when you like really had to like suss out your target, and that kind of sucked about that game is you had to like build up a profile before you could actually assassinate someone.
right?
And that's why no one likes that game.
And I mean, you also have the different elements of like you don't necessarily have to assassinate
right
people unless you're just getting the one target or whatever. So
yeah.
He also, I think, so he, like I said, that was a long interview. He talks about a lot of different stuff. If you care a lot about what he has to say, go check out that interview. There's plenty there for sure. They had a Grand Theft Auto 5 actor, Jay Clates. He was he played Lester Crest in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Right.
And he talks about various things about the game and all that, and he kind of brings it to perspective, not stuff that we didn't already know. He's like, look, they've been pretty much working on GTA 6 since they dropped GTA 5. This takes forever to come out. They've been mocapping all these people this entire time. It takes a long time to make these games. They spent so much money in development for this game. If there's one game that deserves the $100 price tag, he says it's Grand Theft Auto 6. It's not the first time we've heard about that thrown around about could this be the one and only $100 game, and would people even bat an eye about buying it? Obviously, they're going to do that with special editions for sure.
Oh yeah.
But do you think they could? Do you think they'll get to 80 for one? And do you think that they will even think about doing higher than 80 as like the base price?
I could see 80. Especially for like the amount of time. It's not like I don't think Mario Kart World should have been 80.
I agree with that for sure. Should not have been. But you had the like way to get around it, which was like you could just buy the
Right.
bundle and save $30.
Yeah. But I could see like, especially if it depends. Well, to me, it depends on how long the story in GTA 6 is, or how much crap there is to do aside from GTA Online. Which even if you and I get that game, we're not gonna touch that crap. We're just gonna probably play through the
Definitely not the
story.
GTA Online.
Right.
I'm not.
So if it's like some 60-hour story or something that actually has meaningful content after you beat the game, or whatever story campaign they have, like, sure,
Right.
I'd pay for 80 for it.
Yeah, I think if there's a game that definitely deserves the higher price tag, it's GTA, because there's going to be so much content in that game. You're going to get so much your money's worth.
Let me ask you this: is there a game coming out in the near future, or that's like you could see paying $100 for?
I just don't see, like, outside of Grand Theft Auto 6, like, I don't see what game. Maybe whatever Elden Ring sequel or whatever comes out.
See, I'm iffy on GTA 6, but if they somehow said, "Hey, Bully 2 is back on, and it's gonna be $100," I'm like, sign me up. Let's do this.
Yeah, I think he also said something about that, but this was like in a previous interview. He said like there was never a Bully 2. I don't know why people kept saying that there was.
I think they did. I mean, it's not like there was a Bully 2 per se, but I think they did kind of like work on, like, not prototype it out, but like they did like sketch it out a little. But like, yeah, I'd be more interested in Bully 2 than GTA 6 personally, but
Right.
that's just me.
No, I mean, yeah, definitely you, but I think for sure we know where most people's parts would lie with that. I'm just trying to think of like anything that could literally, like, Nintendo could charge $100 for the next Zelda or Mario or whatever, and people would pay for it. But
the one game I would say for like you and like most people would be like if Square was like, "Hey, we're doing a AAA remake of Chrono Trigger. Fuckers, here you go. It's gonna be $100." You and everyone else would be like, "Oh yes, take my money now."
I would pay 100 for Remake Part 3 if I knew it was going to be the most amazing experience or whatever, because I've been waiting, all these years for that. But I mean, it's just, again, it's also the length of time, right? It's the length of time that you've been waiting for that game, that it's like, oh my God, I've been playing GTA. For the people that have been playing GTA 5 this entire time.
Yeah.
Right?
But
like that you've been waiting
like GTA
6. Like, for you don't care. You just want to get the next experience that's going to take 10 years of your life or whatever that you're going to be playing for the next, because I know people that literally all they play is Grand Theft Auto 5 online, and they play Red Dead. Then they found out about Red Dead Redemption 2, and then they play that too. But it's like, I'm just saying that it is about the length of time, right? Like, it has to be a game that, like, you've been waiting that long for it to come back, and it's going to be awesome or whatever. Like, I think if they hadn't remastered Last of Us a million times, and there was actually a Last of Us 3, I wonder, Sony could get away with charging 80 for that or more.
Or the one game that would apply to both of us, Conquer 2.
Oh yeah, for sure. Conquer. That's the one.
Hey, Microsoft owns it.
Yeah. Bad news though about Rockstar. Now, again, this has a little bit more oomph to it because of who's reporting on this. Jason Schreier has a tremendous track record when it comes to this type of news. He's written books on this
Right.
kind of thing. Like this is kind of his specialty, right? And so he's essentially reporting that Rockstar Games laid off 30 to 40 employees, levying the dismissal terms as misconduct. However, a spokesperson of the Independent Workers Union of Great Britain claimed that it's an attempt to prevent unionization amongst team members. Rockstar has just carried out one of the most blatant and ruthless acts of union busting in the history of games industry. This flagrant contempt for the law, for the lives of the workers who bring in their billions, is an insult to their fans. And the global industry, Take-Two, obviously refuted those claims. And Rockstar, to be fair, has avoided layoffs because, you know, they need people to be making this game. And obviously they know how much money that game's going to make, so, you know, they can afford to keep paying these people. Do you think this is true? Like, does this make you think any differently about the fact that they just, if that happened?
It's not surprising at all because Rockstar has always been kind of run as like, it's not a democracy over there. Like, it is pretty authoritarian. And if people are trying to like band together, it's like, no, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I hate to say it, especially, but they've always been a weird company to like even work with like games press and shit. And they would get like mad about like bad game score, like review scores, even to like their lesser games. So yeah, it's not surprising at all that they did this.
Yeah, if this actually happened, it doesn't surprise me either. There's still a major look, to be fair, like it does. I fully support unions if they want to exist. You know, I worked at a job where they had unions. I didn't join it, but I know that they're helpful for people, right? So I'm not going to say that it serves its purpose. And I do think that you should be open to that, obviously. But I kind of understand in a way like why Rockstar would do it, because they don't want nobody telling them you can't fire people, right? Or you can't.
But like, I could, you know, Rockstar's also the same type of company that, you know, would have to work like 90-hour weeks or whatever to get a game out.
Yeah, and like that's the thing too, right? Is like unions could then enforce supposedly the reason why it's taking this long too is also because they didn't want to have crunch, right? After all of the bad stories that came out of Red Dead 2 and all of that stuff, they don't want to have a repeat of all that bad news. So they've kind of prevented that in a way. Well, we don't really know if they have or not, but you'd imagine that has lessened the amount of that, right?
Yeah.
So you have to think that in a way, it's to prevent them from having to be told what they have to do for certain things, or whatnot. And it's just, look, it sucks. Will they ever admit to it? Who knows, right? I don't think they ever will, because obviously, you know, then you get kind of put under investigation and all that stuff. It's always going to be, well, okay, we did this investigation, we'll see. It sucks for those people that were working there. We obviously don't really know if they did have misconduct or not either. But
I mean, I could buy 1 or 2 people, but like 30 people.
Yeah, 30 or 40 people, like all doing it at the same time. Like, I don't know, man.
Assuming it's not some Ubisoft situation or going to the Cosby closet or whatever the fuck they were doing or whatever.
Yeah, the Activision thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, I doubt it. I mean, the misconduct was them trying to form a union. So
yeah, it's like that's our misconduct. I mentioned it earlier, but we didn't really get into it that much. I thought we were over to go ahead and talk about it, but Warner Brothers Discovery, we did mention that they kind of put themselves up for sale, which obviously impacts the gaming side of things. Paramount has bid for that now like 3 times, and they bid for the whole thing, the whole shebang, right?
Yep.
And Warner Bros. Has turned them down because they feel like somebody else can give them a bigger offer. That bigger offer will probably involve splitting up a lot of different things, right? Because I don't think anybody in their mind is going to want the TV stuff.
Right.
There's a lot of people that don't even want the movie studios, right? They just want the IP, if anything.
Right.
And so Netflix is apparently going through the motions of getting a lawyer involved to see if they might want to make a bid, because obviously that would strengthen Netflix to have basically essentially all of HBO Max on their platform. And also they could essentially just raise the price of Netflix to whatever HBO Max is. Well, HBO Max just went up $1 for the ad tier and other amounts of money for the other tiers. So I pay $10 a month for that thing. So it just went up to 11 for me. So yeah, Netflix could technically, if they took the entirety of what's on HBO Max right now and put it on Netflix, they could essentially just say, "Oh look, well, we put the entirety of HBO Max on our thing, so now you're going to pay $40 a month if you want for our stuff,
right?
If you want all that." What happens to those series that are still ongoing? Who knows? But like,
they're going away.
Do you see anybody that would really want this stuff? And like, I don't even know who really would want the game stuff either, because like so much of that is not going to come with it unless you bought all of WB.
I mean, Microsoft would be pretty funny.
Yeah, the irony of Microsoft. They did want them at some point. Sony also wanted them at some point. But Sony kind of doesn't make sense because like they're kind of trying to go into the continuing to grow anime thing, and that's working out for them because anime just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Like I said, I see Netflix, but I don't know. And Paramount, I could see that as well. But
I would rather have Paramount. Like they're both kind of bad choices, but like Netflix is like the worser choice, even though they probably offer more money. But like the funny thing about speaking of Netflix, do you see the thing? Like, this happened in the last week about Don't Nod. They're forming a partnership with Netflix to like make games for Netflix.
Oh Lord!
And it's like,
I guess that there's one kind of game that could work with Netflix is like the narrative game.
Yeah, but like Netflix always dips its toes into game making for like a year, and then or like 2 years or something, and then pulls back completely. So it's like, why? Like this partnership is going to last like a year or so, and then get quietly canceled or whatever. Because like games take a while to make, and Netflix doesn't want to wait that long. Like,
yeah, I mean you're not wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean, if there's a kind of game that's less intensive, right? A narrative game.
I mean, like, yeah, like a choose your own adventure game would work, but it's just like the choose your own adventure movies and TV shows that they had, like the Black Mirror Bandersnatch thing, like, and that's gone. So
yeah, like, are they going to be able to get licenses for Don't Nod to work with them, or is this going to be all original Don't Nod stories?
I think it's all original, yeah, because they're not like bringing like Life is Strange to Netflix. It'll be like, no, it's going to be like a whole new IP or next Netflix major. Cause I think they're trying to make like a Netflix, be like Stranger Things or something like that, or whatever. They're basically making a game based off a Netflix TV show or whatever.
All right, fair enough.
Creation of a new narrative video game based on a major IP. So it's either going to be Stranger Things or Orange Is the New Black.
I doubt it.
I could see Stranger Things because they want to keep that going, and it'll have some name recognition, and it's the last big thing they got left. So,
and definitely, I mean, yeah, as far as like wide reaching like that, for sure.
Yeah.
But
like as far as the WB stuff, honestly, they should just carve it up, and whoever gets it, or whoever wants the games part, Let them have it. Whoever wants the TV show, they get settled with that. Good luck with that.
I mean, I think that's definitely what Warner Brothers wants, because they want like various people bidding on their stuff. They don't want just Paramount coming and taking their
Taking off.
money and
But like,
that's it, you know.
I mean, yes, but like, what happens? Like, they may get a bunch of money for like their movie studios or the movie IP, but like, what happens if like the game part doesn't sell? Then then they're just kind of stuck.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, for one, whoever takes the gaming stuff has to actually care about making games, because if not, like, what are you doing?
Right.
And then also, like, you also kind of have to get some assurance that you're going to get a licensing deal to make some of those games, because if you're just getting the back catalog and like Mortal Kombat, I mean, how much stuff are you getting really?
Well, it'd be like, great, I get the rights to republish Batman Arkham Asylum. I can't make any new Batman games because DC didn't come with this, but I can put up the 15-year-old Batman game again.
Yeah. It's like, will Microsoft actually put out those old Activision like Spider-Man games or whatever ever? That'll be interesting. You know?
Yeah.
I just don't see how
I think one of the Transformers games was like not online yet, but it did get like quietly updated.
Yeah, they've shown it a bunch of times. Like, they keep putting it back on the digital store, then it gets taken down. And
yeah,
you know, yeah, this is one of those, like, I wouldn't be surprised if like nobody comes to the table.
Right.
And also if Netflix comes and takes like all the IP, like, what is anybody else gonna want? Like, I could see the TV studios dying because nobody wants those things.
Right. I mean,
like,
I'd feel real bad about Netflix because they don't do home media releases. So it's like, great, there's 100 years of crap you can't get on Blu-ray or 4K anymore.
Yeah, and will they even put most of that stuff on Netflix, or will it just be in a cellar and never appear?
Right.
You know, because then it's like they can do tax write-offs on that stuff, like Zaslav did for a while.
Yep.
So, you know, and HBO does. I mean, HBO has some, like, you know, they have the NHL and some sports stuff. So like Netflix is trying to be involved in that some.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, I don't know if they want to really have like where they're, because even WWE is not really working out as great as
Netflix thought
they thought it was going to.
Right.
You know, especially because you're not getting. I mean, for everywhere outside of the U.S., I guess maybe it is, but like for the U.S. side, like Raw's ratings are not that great, and then you don't have the pay-per-views, so people are going to ESPN now to go watch the pay-per-views over there. So it's like you're not getting the whole shebang, and I think that kind of hurts them too. Like, do they really want to have like weekly hockey or something on there that they're having to pay to produce, or what? I don't know if the league would just pay to produce that or whatever. But yeah, it's going to be interesting if somebody else grabs it. But I like, definitely the one group that makes sense for everything is Paramount, because they have sports, they have movies, they have a movie studio, they have TV shows. Like, you could bring so much of that stuff over. Obviously, not all that stuff's going to continue, but then obviously Paramount would then become more expensive. You're also unifying Showtime and HBO, which is crazy to think about from back in the day. Like, whoever would have thought HBO and Showtime would be on the same, like, owned by the same people. Yeah, talk about like a huge library of stuff. Also, there's that whole would they let it pass, because then Paramount would technically own two of the major movie studios. So, you know, who knows? But yeah.
In this climate, probably, but in a sane climate, probably not.
Yeah, it depends on like how long this takes. If it takes too long and we get into another administration, who knows? But
Right.
yeah, okay. But yeah, we'll see. It's probably still going to drag on for a while. To be fair.
Yeah.
But all right. Moving on.
you,
To a few other
you
small.
see that Condemned got pulled?
Condemned
Criminal Origins.
Oh, it did. It got pulled. Okay.
Yeah, from
see
like
that.
Steam and I guess like the Xbox storefront.
Oh wow.
And it's rumored that because that was a Monolith production, and Monolith is WB or was, and it's rumored that like that there's two possibilities. Either it's like a rights issue, which I kind of doubt because I don't think there's any like licensed music in that game, or
Yeah.
or they could be doing like a HD remaster or like
Maybe.
some
Let's see
yeah.
that. It's been a while for that game. So
Yeah, that was an Xbox 360 launch game. So
I mean, it would be cool. I'd love to see that come back. So why not?
yeah, I had the PC version, and it had some pretty not great controls, let's say.
Yeah. That'd be cool if they are. Hopefully, it's not that it's going down completely. We've seen that before, where they take stuff down and then, oh, here's a new remaster, or
Right.
remake, or whatever. Interesting little factoid with Steam. Steam recently revealed on their website that the most popular GPU for their games is the 3060 at 4.47%. That's an increase from a little bit. Then down the line is the 4060, which was most popular in September. And then after that is the 3050 and then the 1650, which is, I have like the 16. I have the 1060, which is like, has like a 2% share. So I guess that's me.
Right.
Playing all the demos and whatever. So, yeah. So
That's
I definitely need to get a new laptop.
Like PC game YouTubers and all that stuff, they always play on like 5070s and 5090s and shit like that. I think that's not viable for most people.
Yeah, it's not.
You aren't going to drop a $2,000 on a video card that is
No.
going to be obsolete in 2 years, not obsolete, but not the bleeding edge, let's say, in 3 years. Like,
Yeah.
it's not surprising that like the 3060 is still hanging around because it's not the oldest card. It's I think at least 6 years old. Like maybe.
But I think most games are using that as the target. That's why.
Right. Yeah, it's a good baseline. You're not going to max it out, but it'll run most games pretty well. So yeah, and it's not like that expensive either.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can buy a 3060 now for about $300 new. I mean, if you want to get it used, that's cheaper. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, yes, most like kind of middle of the line laptops now come with the 4060.
right.
So that kind of makes sense. Like if you got a laptop and recently, it probably has the 4060. So yeah. That makes sense.
Yep.
When I was looking at a laptop a few years ago, I was thinking about the 4060 as well. So that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, just a couple more sad things here. Heart Machine, with their indie game Possessor coming out in a few weeks, or like in a week and a half now, they are laying off more people. Some of these layoffs actually happened like a few days ago, like less than a week ago. Just like people announcing that they've been laid off.
Right.
And then, that game's coming out November 11th. And then there was a PR person that also got laid off that said they are worried about there's going to be nobody left that works on that game at the studio by the time it comes out.
Right.
And then obviously this comes after they just had to like end production on Hyper Light Breaker. So that's not great either. It sucks. I hate seeing that for gaming. So always the sad times, it feels like.
Right.
This is gonna keep going. But all right, I guess to get into some happier things, let's end the show as we usually do with our games that are coming out this week. 1,000 Times Resist comes to Game Pass and also comes to PS5. Also Xbox without having a Game Pass. It used to be a Switch and PC exclusive, so that's cool. That very much like I think I said Pacific Drive last week. The game releases, comes out on Game Pass. I think that will definitely get people playing that game. It has got a lot of awards, so hopefully that helps out there. Age of Empires 4 comes to PS5 on November 4th as well. So if you were itching to play Age of Empires 4 on your PS5,
perfect platform for that game.
yeah. But hey, why not? I mean, they're putting it out there, so enjoy that game. Football Manager 26. A lot of people were hyped for this game because 25 skipped, and this one's going to have the World Cup stuff in it. Let's see how they actually use it. This is coming to everything but Switch, and it's also going to be on Game Pass on day one as well. So there you go, 2 day one games there. I did not know that this game was still being made. Let's Sing 2026. Also coming November 4th.
I mean, they're making like a PS4 and Switch version of that. So
yeah, they are. PS4, yeah, and Switch too. So they definitely getting their money out of that. Satisfactory, the big PC hit, is coming to PS5 and Series, Xbox Series. So if you even want to play that on your console, there you go. Karen, the next iteration of the indie climbing game that looks pretty good. Similar but different from Jusant. Came out all those a few years ago. That comes out on the 5th to PC and PS5. Dinkum comes to Switch. That's another one of those farming sims that's popular on PC. That's now going to come to Switch. And let's see if it does well there, because they're the kings of that. Sonic Rumble finally coming out after all the delays. Mark, are you ready? You gonna play this thing?
Nope.
No. I thought you play like every Sonic game.
No.
Except for the racing one.
Especially not like a bad party and battle royale game.
Yeah, it looks fun. Every time I've seen it, it looks good.
They fooled you again.
Yeah. Maybe it will be. Who knows? Egging On, which I guess I should have mentioned that this is part of the ID at Xbox thing. This is going to be also on Game Pass. It is literally an egg platformer. You play as an egg, and you try not to fall, because what happens when you fall? The egg cracks. It looks fun. It looks fun.
If they can make 3 Goat Simulator games and that I Am Bread game, then why not?
Right? Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I thought of too. It's like, oh, this is like I Am Bread or whatever.
You know what I shouldn't mind is like a good HD remaster of Mr. Mosquito.
Yeah, actually, I played that for a little bit. It was a fun game. It's like, I enjoyed it for what it was.
What's funny is I actually do have a copy of that game, like the physical PS2 game. Guess how much that game is worth now?
I don't know, $100.
You're actually about right. About 95, close to about 100.
Damn.
I spent $2 on it at a GameStop.
Nice.
And I still have the receipt for it, which is awesome. Like it's maybe like $1. Like, it's hilarious.
Yeah, there you go.
But I bought it in like 2012 or something, when they were like blowing out PS2 games at a game, like my local GameStop. So I'm all right. I'll grab this.
I think we're gonna do that next week. I thought about doing that this week, but again, work was not kind to me today. Doing like the best PS2 games, because that had its like 25th anniversary not too long ago.
That's easy. I know the answer for both of us. It's Britney's dance beat.
Definitely not. Also in here, as well, Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment.
Yep.
Of course, this is the next in line of the Muso Legend of Zelda games.
Yep.
So you guys that are excited for that, you know who you are.
They keep cranking them out. It's like, why?
Hey, they sell decently.
Yeah.
Nintendo loves these Muso games, right? Like they did all the Fire Emblem ones, and they keep doing all the. At least they have story elements to these that kind of make sense.
I would say it saves them from having like make a new Zelda game. So
yeah,
again, it's another stopgap measure. So just wait until you get a Mario one.
All right. I mean, it's interesting if they will ever go that route of making a Mario.
Right.
One of those. Siberia Remastered. Didn't you like? Which one of these did you review? Was it?
I don't think I ever. Maybe 4. I remember I interviewed me and Jens interviewed the composer for him. I think it was 4 also.
Okay.
I don't have a ton of love for Siberia, but I can like respect it from a distance. It's just not like my type of adventure game, but sure, they're cool.
For sure. Agree with that. That's like one of those things you respect. Not my kind of game, but sure.
Right.
Unbeatable is my kind of game. It's probably one of the games that are left in the year that I'm very excited about. This is like the rhythm beat 'em up game that's got anime in it. That comes out on number 6, coming out to everything but Switch, which is surprising because this is like a total Switch game, it feels like. But yeah, man, I've seen this at like every single showcase thing that I've seen it at. I've loved it. The demo is fun. Like if you like rhythm games and especially beat 'em ups or action stuff, definitely check this out for sure. Yeah, and then you get the next week. We talk about the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition.
Yep.
Yeah, that everybody was so excited. Yeah, excited about there.
I'm more excited for my cat personally
than that. It kind of shows you that it wasn't a great Fallout day or whatever.
Right.
Really quick, just because I said I was going to talk about the ID at Xbox thing. Look, it wasn't amazing or whatever. I do. There were some cool games in here. Planet of Lana 2, obviously one of the big ones. I love Planet of Lana, the first one. So the second one already getting announced, coming out next year. That's going to be great. Aphelion is another Don't Nod game that looks cool. Has survival horror elements in it. That's going to be on Game Pass, and that's coming sometime next year. Aways or Always, or I'm not sure what it's called. It's like a 3D physics based like combat, like where you're these animals that are like they're sliding around to traversal, and then it's like 3D physics based combat. You can play it as one player, but it's also like got like local co-op or online play as well. That looks fun. The Dome Keeper looks good. That's coming to Game Pass on December 9th. I talked about egging on. Routine, that's like survival horror in space, also coming to Game Pass in December 4th. Got shown on here. That's looked good. They did a whole deep dive on Mouse PI for Hire. That was like the one more thing that they did. And TCG Card Simulator is also coming to Game Pass next year. So they did put the Supermarket Simulator, which I loved, on PC. That's on Xbox. It actually has like one of the biggest one of the most like played games on Game Pass was Supermarket Simulator the week it came out.
Right.
People really, that game was big on PC. People are, of course, they're going to love it on Xbox as well. There's just something about that game. It's just like, it's very addicting. And the TCG one is great because you can make the smelly card players not smell.
Right.
Along with the other Supermarket Simulator stuff that was already in there as well. And then Over the Hill looks cool because it's looks like a Mud Runner game, but it's like chill. So that might be up your alley there.
I mean, they're all kind of chill, like, you know.
Yeah, but that one kind of looks more like it's definitely made for like the chill vibes or whatever,
Right.
you know. But all right, that's it for this week for Video Games to the Max. Thank you so much. If you watched live or you listen later, watched on demand on the YouTube channel, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Go check us out. Follow, like, subscribe on the YouTube channel, W2 Network, or just find us on Video Games to the Max on podcast. You can listen there, give us a review, all that stuff that helps out. And we'll see you next week, everybody.
Later.
Later.